Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I am Laurie Labishak, and I am your happiness ambassador, and I am so excited to be here with you on this St. Patrick's Day, right? Luck of the Irish and all that jazz. I wish you much luck and happiness today and every day, and I'm so excited that you have chosen to join us tonight on Bright Spots. I know it was a beautiful day today in Ohio, and our guest is in Florida, and it's a beautiful day there as well. But folks, I am just thrilled that you've decided to spend a few minutes with us here in the Bright Spot studio so that we can talk with our guest. And I hope you've had a great week so far. It is Wednesday, right? March the 17th. And I do have some news. Next week, there will not be a Bright Spots show. I will be taking a vacation to see my folks in North Carolina. So I'm going to take the week off. But we will come back on the 31st with another show. So please be sure and mark your calendars and plan to be with us on the 31st. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce our guest. Our guest this evening is Colleen Elaine Millett. She is a board-certified hypnotist and Reiki Level 2 practitioner. Colleen supports women and men in mastering their mindset, releasing their false beliefs, and reigniting their inner light. Merging her expert skills and intuitive abilities, Colleen guides and compassionately supports clients using the powerful rapid transformational therapy processes to excavate the root cause of the issue, holding them back from living fully. Colleen is an expert instructor for Inspired Living University, best-selling co-author and contributor to Aspire magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the Bright Spot studio, Miss Colleen Millett. Hello, Colleen.
Hi,
Welcome
I'm so
to
happy
the
to be
studio.
here.
It is great to have you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too.
So, Colleen, tell us a little bit about how you got into this kind of work. Where did it begin, and how did you know this is what you wanted to do?
Okay, that's an excellent question, Lori. Well, actually, I have been a real estate appraiser for about 36 years. So I kind of fell into that profession. But throughout my career, I have always been involved in self-development, personal development, always looking to improve myself. I'm a voracious reader. I'm always looking to learn more and more about how the world works, how people work, what makes them tick. I've been interested in psychology, the way energy moves, since we're all energy. I've studied feng shui. I've studied numerology, nemology, which is the study of the name. I've also been into human design. So I just have this bag of information that I've carried with me throughout my life. And I decided just a few years ago that I really needed to put this information that I've been gathering for all these many years to good use. And I want to help people evolve and live their best life, which is what I've been able to do for myself. I've transformed my life and my family's life, and I want to help other people do that. And I think that forgiveness is one of the biggest keys of turning your life around and living the life that you would appreciate fully living.
So you talk a little bit about the very most important relationship in one's life. So tell us, what is that relationship and why?
Okay, the most important relationship in your life is the relationship you have with yourself, because you're never going to be without yourself. Wherever you go, there you are. So if you have issues in your life where the same thing is happening over and over again, you're noticing a pattern of let's give you an example. Maybe you have issues with finances. And so you get your finances back on track, and then a few years later, the pattern happens again. And so if you're noticing these patterns, you can't run from them, because no matter where you go, you're taking yourself with you. So you have to dig a little bit deeper and figure out what is going on within you that is creating this pattern that's showing up in your life.
And how does hypnotherapy play into that? How do you use that to help people understand what has happened that might be contributing to how they are today?
So a client will come and see me, and they will present a problem. And a lot of times the problem that they're presenting has nothing to do with the root cause of what's actually, running behind the scenes in the subconscious mind. So what happens is they come in with the problem, and I put them under hypnosis, and I start asking them questions. I bring them through a process where we're regressing them back to the time when they first experienced this particular problem. And so through regression, they go back to a certain point in time, and it might have been a comment that a child said to them, maybe some sort of a bullying aspect, or it could be something that a parent said to them. But what's happening is it's the way that they perceived an event that has happened in their life. And so from that event, they associate meaning with it. And the meaning might be something like, I'm not smart enough. It could be, I'm not good enough. I will never be able to be wealthy. You know, it could be any number of things. But what the key is, they associate a meaning with it. And so throughout their life, they're looking for that self-fulfilling prophecy to bring those events that are going to solidify that meaning to them.
And what do you say to people who, you know, aren't too sure about hypnosis? You know, there are some people who are afraid of, what are you going to do to me while you put me under? So how
Right.
do you help people overcome that fear?
Well, basically, hypnosis is a very relaxed state. The person is aware the whole time. What happens is the conscious mind just kind of moves to the side. And so I'm talking directly with the subconscious mind. And so what, in essence, what it's like is your conscious mind is kind of like a third party that's in on the conversation between me and your subconscious mind. So you're hearing everything. You're aware of everything that's happening. You're not asleep or anything like that. You're just basically in a very, very deep, relaxed state, like in a meditation. And you can actually stop the process at any time by opening your eyes, you know, and coming out of the hypnosis. So, you know, at all times, the person is in control. So I reassure, you know, my clients that they have complete control over the process. And when they go back to the scenes too, some people have a fear that they might be reliving a traumatic event. And so I express to them that they're actually reviewing the scene. They're not reliving it, but they're watching it like on a screen in front of their mind.
And are you fully aware while you're in that relaxed state? So in other words, when you do stop it, does the patient remember everything that they just experienced?
Yes, they will remember everything that happens in the session. Absolutely
Okay.
everything. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Colleen, for tonight, we talked a little bit, and you wanted to discuss the 5 ways that forgiving yourself improves your relationships. So, why don't we just dig right in and you share those 5 ways with us?
Okay, great. I'd like to start by everybody just asking themselves a question. Are you living your life, or are you living the life that somebody else expects of you? Because what I'm finding with most of my clients, and this is true for myself as well, that we're told as children who we are or who we should be, you know, and we're told this by our parents, by teachers, by society. So in essence, we're programmed by these people, these other people, to be who they want us to be. And so what happens is we have kind of a disconnect with our authentic self. And so there's a little bit of self-betrayal going on. And that's why forgiving yourself is so important. So the first way that forgiving yourself improves your relationships is letting go. Holding on to past judgments, resentments, or perceived mistakes is preventing you from putting your best foot forward in all you do. And that includes your relationship with yourself and with other people. But it's hurting you most of all. And we often don't realize that these judgments and resentments that we're holding are preventing us from having these loving relationships. So I'd like to, with this one, use kind of an analogy of a box of crayons. So if you would consider all the people in your sphere of influence, your family, your friends, consider that they're all a different color in a box of crayons. And so when you judge someone or you hold a resentment against them, you may take that crayon in that box and say, I'm not going to use this crayon anymore. And you begin to ignore it. And so then you begin limiting the colors that you allow in your life. And so then your life gets a little more dim, and it starts to look very much less vibrant. So the world has an infinite array of colors. And so why limit the vividness? So the ability to forgive, you know, the resentments and the judgments that you've had in the past, those are the things that are holding you back from living your best life. So when you let go, you can bring all that color back, all that vibrancy back into your life, and start to rekindle those relationships by the power of forgiveness. And so we can go on to number 2. So number 2 is self-awareness. Forgiveness makes you self-aware. This is what brings you to the meaning and understanding of the past events and what you associated that meaning around it. And having those meanings that are preventing you from having your best relationships with yourself or other people, it wreaks havoc all throughout, your whole entire life. So one of the questions to ask yourself around self-awareness is, where in your life have you betrayed yourself by contorting to conform to the needs of other people's rather than meeting your own needs? And I have found that hypnotherapy is an excellent way, it's an excellent tool to discover those things, because a lot of times they're hidden from us. We might not realize that it was an event when we were 5 years old. But one of the key ways to figure that out is to start noticing the triggers that bring up resentments or bring up judgments about other people, even if you're not around the person that the original judgment was with. So it's a matter of recognizing, getting that self-awareness.
So with those two things, letting go and self-awareness, I'm wondering if anyone in our audience might have a question about how to recognize when you're not letting go of something. Like, what are the triggers that say, gosh, there's something I'm hanging on to, and how do you know that you're holding on to something? How do you know that you don't have that crayon color in your box any longer? What are the triggers?
Yeah, a lot of times you can have ruminating thoughts. You have the same thought that's going on over and over and over again, or you have the same irritation that keeps popping up. Maybe it's popping up with different people. So those are a couple things that, so you'll notice, okay, that color might be a problem,
Right. And as far as self-awareness, is hypnotism the only way to recognize or to have self-awareness and understand where these ideas are coming from, or it's just one way?
It's just one way. Journaling is an excellent way to have self-awareness. If something's bothering you, get your thoughts down on paper, and you can always come back to it later and read it and see if there's any insights that come out. Also, meditation is a great way. Sit down to meditate. You can just ask yourself a question. Why is this particular irritation, coming up for me over and over again? And just sit with that and listen to what comes up.
Oh, that's awesome. I am a absolutely proponent of journaling. I think journaling is so important, and what great advice. So let's go ahead and go on to 3.
Okay, number 3 is compassion. Learning to have compassion for yourself goes hand in hand with forgiveness. And we typically have more capacity to show compassion to others than we do to ourselves, especially when we get into that negative self-talk loop. So when we begin to show ourselves just a little bit of compassion, our heart will start to open up more and more, and that capacity will grow exponentially with practicing compassion, especially self-compassion. And the kinder that we can be to ourselves allows our compassion also to be even more far-reaching in understanding and supporting not only ourselves, but other people as well.
And what are some of the ways that we can show compassion to ourselves?
Listening to your body. What does your body need? What kind of food do you need? That's one of the best ways, because a lot of times we get trapped in our head, and so we're thinking all the time, and we have a disconnect where we're not actually feeling our body or listening to what our body's telling us. And that can be any kind of physical ailment. We tend to maybe suppress it, with Tylenol or something like that if we have a pain. So our body is trying to tell us something. So if we get stuck in our head, we can't hear our body. So the best way to have compassion for yourself is to ground yourself, which, could basically be just taking your shoes off and walking outside in the grass. and just reconnecting with nature and listening to your body.
Awesome.
Okay, self-acceptance. When you forgive yourself, you're acknowledging to yourself that you matter. You're owning your part in whatever that resentment was, whatever that judgment was. You're recognizing that, yes, you did play a part. If, nothing is ever one way, that you always play a part in everything that happens in your life. You may not know the reason right then, but in order to have the forgiveness, you have to have self-acceptance. And from this place of acceptance and knowing that you are enough, you can begin to chip away at the fortress that you've likely built around your heart that's preventing you from having the best relationships that you can have. And also having self-acceptance is going to raise your energetic vibration. And it's going to allow for more positive energy to flow from you, through you, and to you. And so this is going to create harmony in all of your relationships.
Now, I'm guessing that some people may be afraid to journey down this road of self-acceptance. Maybe they don't want to face their part in the pain that they've inflicted on themselves. So how do you talk with those people that are truly afraid to look into their past and see what is causing them not to live their life fully with joy and happiness?
Right. Well, the biggest question that I ask them is, what is it costing you to not move forward, to not go to that other side where things could be so much more beautiful and vibrant and, life-giving, because it's definitely costing them something. It could be costing them their health, because when you leave judgments and resentments, they fester inside of you. They not only fester in your mind, but they can create physical ailments in your body. And so if they have any health ailments, we talk about how forgiving and releasing that energy is going to help their body heal. And a lot of times, they are worried about getting to the other side, but I have yet to have anybody, say that they wish they hadn't done it.
Okay. And finally.
Yes, finally, praise yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you the words that you have always wanted to hear. Again, when I go back to the childhood where, your parents told you, what to do and how you should be, and your teachers told you that, and society told you that. Well, there's something deep within you that you long to hear, and you should tell yourself that. So whether it's you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're smart, you're funny, you're charismatic or talented, whatever those words are that you have longed to hear, go ahead and tell yourself those words right now. Because the most important words that you will ever hear are the words you say to yourself. So please don't make them negative. Make them kind, make them loving, and say them often to yourself.
I often hear that when you do have that small voice in your head, ask yourself, is that what you would say to your best friend?
Exactly.
Would you say that to your best friend? Because we do have to be our own best friend. We have to be able to lift our own selves up. Absolutely. And that's not to say that you're not going to have days where it's hard.
Right.
It's hard to be your own cheerleader. It's hard to be in your own corner sometimes. But it's so very important as well to do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, our guest this evening is Colleen Millett, and she is a hypnotherapist and Reiki practitioner. So tell us a little bit about Reiki. What exactly is that for the folks who may not know, and how do you use that in your practice?
Okay, so Reiki is healing energy. And so I have taken a couple of Reiki courses, and I have been attuned to Reiki healing energy. And so I use that in all of my hypnotherapy practice and all of my hypnosis sessions. And so basically what it is I'm sending healing energy to my client, whether I'm working with them virtually or in person. they are receiving that healing energy. And I always ask my client too, if they would like Reiki, because some people, aren't really sure. But yeah, I do have to have their permission in order to send the Reiki. But Reiki is a wonderful energy healing practice that you can do it through distance. You can do it just by thinking of a person, or you can have them, physically in the same room with you. And it has a myriad of benefits to it. And, it's long lasting as well.
Okay. So we want to share your website with our viewers this evening. And folks, if you want more information about Colleen, you can visit ColleenElaine.com. And this is your site here. So tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Okay, yes. So on my site, I have a free gift that if you want to sign up for it, it's 3 meditations. And that'll kind of give you a little taste of what the hypnosis would be like if you had a session with me, virtually. What you would do is you would just put some earbuds in and listen to the recording. And it's, just a very relaxing meditation that's going to be very similar to the process that I use with my RTT. And also on my website, I have I have a little shop there that has some other meditations, and I will be adding some new ones. There's blissful escapes, and also I have a sleep meditation and a sugar craving, reduced sugar craving in the health and wellness there. Yes. And so I do have some more recordings that are coming soon.
All right. So folks, if you are looking for more information or you'd like to connect with Colleen, again, that website is ColleenElaine.com. And you can also find her on Facebook. And this is her Facebook page here, Bright Life Transformations. And that's the name of your company, correct?
Correct, yes.
All right. So Bright Life Transformations. And for those who don't know, Colleen is located in Florida. What part of Florida, Colleen?
I'm just north of Tampa in the Spring Hill, Florida area.
Okay. So Colleen, have we missed anything? Is there anything you wanted to cover that we didn't get to this evening?
The only other thing I would like to say is, for people to post sticky notes, post sticky notes all over your house with encouraging messages, praising yourself, telling yourself you're enough, that you matter, to have fun, just post these notes on your mirror, in your car, on your computer, just to remind yourself every single day, to live a full life. That's what you're here for.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. My daughter has always had Post-it notes on her mirror in her bathroom. She did that all the way through college. And before she got married, when she lived independently, whenever I went to visit, there would be Post-it notes, and sometimes even dry erase marker on the mirror, leaving herself notes. And I always thought that was just the coolest thing. Probably need to do it myself.
Yep. We all need that reinforcement, and we can't wait for other people to tell us. So we have to give ourselves those little reminders.
Well, there you have it, folks. The 5 steps, the 5 ways to forgive yourself, to improve your relationship. We're going to let things go, right, Colleen? We're just going to let those things that we're holding on to go. We're going to be aware of our own selves. We're going to find that self-awareness. We're going to show ourselves compassion. We are going to strive for self-acceptance.
Right.
And we're going to praise ourselves so that we can absolutely walk into self-forgiveness. I'm surprised that gratitude is not on your list somewhere, but I bet you practice gratitude. You just have that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm a strong supporter of gratitude as well. I think saying thank you, not only to other people, but to yourself is so very important, you know, and that probably comes with compassion.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's with compassion and also praise. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Colleen, thank you so much for joining me here on Bright Spots tonight. I wish you much joy and happiness, and I hope the weather stays beautiful in Florida and we have a very short hurricane season.
Yes, I agree. And thank you so much, Lori, for having me. And I hope that you continue to have beautiful weather as well there.
Well, thank you, and happy St. Patrick's Day again.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oops, meant to do this. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Another episode of Bright Spots. And it is St. Patrick's Day. So I wish you much joy, much luck, much love, and much happiness. Go out there and enjoy that sunshine, what's left of it. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you in 2 weeks here on Bright Spots. I love you all. God bless.